Hello and welcome to Center 4 of the Snow Tracks and Traces unit. This is another one dealing mostly with tracks, and it should be fun for the imaginative and kind of investigative students. So this has several parts, and there's definitely some scaffolding for different levels and different ages, so take some time to sort through all that, but we'll go through it here as well. So for your reference, there's a track pattern chart so that students can see all the different tracks. It also gives some size, so you can kind of talk about, using some rulers from the classroom, you can kind of show like the difference in sizes between like a coyote and a skunk or something like that. So this is a good reference for you. And then to start, there's kind of a simple tracks and traces matching where you try to match accordingly. And this is pretty simple because there's kind of one of each type of footprint. You can talk about the differences between dogs having their claws out versus cats with retractable claws, so their footprints don't show their claws. So this is a good starting off point, and there is a key for you and the students. And you can do this either just laminated, there's some laminated copies, or there's also, you can make copies and have each student do one and take it home. It depends on time and whatever you want to put into it. Now this is going to be more advanced with the use of this chart and what the students learn, especially if they're coming from Center 3. They might have some background knowledge to access. But this has a little bit more detailed and some more closely related footprints, so a little bit more investigation might be needed here. There is a key for you that you can help students along, but using this, this is definitely probably the upper grades, if at all, depending on your time, because there's a lot of other good stuff coming up. Once you've had a chance to kind of look at the different tracks and match animals with their tracks, we move on to some storytelling based on some pictures. Now for the older students, you'll go to this Tricky Tracks Part 2. And this first one just has some tracks, which you can look at the matching you've just done to try to identify the tracks. And it shows you where the tracks are going and coming, so you can ask students what they think happened, who was there, what was going on. And then there is a follow-up, Part 3, which puts the animals there, with the exception, there's not actually a picture of a beaver, but there is maybe a little beaver
lodge.
Right, a little beaver lodge going on there. So they can kind of start to match up the story that they had when they were just looking at the tracks to what they actually see in the picture. For the younger kids, there's a couple more simple options. This is a very simple little poem with just a few little tracks with the animals at the end. They can kind of see that very easily. And then this one has 4 little pictures with explanations down here. So you can kind of try to hide the explanations and have them look at each one and kind of give a story about what's going on. Each one tells just a simple story. Or you can just show it to them and read the story that the little dog comes up with, so they can kind of start to see how you can use tracks to learn what happened even though the animals aren't still there. Now finally, and you definitely want to leave some time for this because this really lets students use what they've learned as well as their own imaginations to look at something and make some theories and some guesses. So this is a small version of a window shade story. And there's a bunch of tracks and stuff going on, and you can have students start to look at the tracks, where they're coming from and going to, what's at the beginning and end of each, if they stop suddenly, what might have happened. Have them start to look at that. Now we also have 2 very large versions of this. If you can find a place to hang it, great. But if not, you can find some space on the floor and lay it out. There's 2 of them, so you could put a few students per and each one and have them come back and compare notes. So pretty cool chance for them to use some of what they learned to try to tell what has happened. And then on the back of this little version, there is the story itself that kind of goes through, and students can kind of check themselves and see what they might have missed or what they might have gone into more detail, and just compare with the story that comes with the picture. So a lot going on in the center, definitely a lot of room for students to be little scientists and animal trackers, so make sure you leave some time for the big story. And if you have any questions, let us know at mitchellelf@gmail.com. Thanks.